Always wanted to get behind the wheel of a Tesla? Well, from high gas prices to wear and tear on your car, you might be considering renting an EV for your summer travel plans. Here at Resla, you're guaranteed a Tesla.
What's good, y'all? What's good? Another day in this. Another day in it. How y'all all doing today? Today's been pretty good. But last time, when was the last time we were actually live with one another? Now I'm just thinking about it right now. What's just hit me? I think the last time may have actually been on Saturday. So Saturday socials. Anyway, I hope you guys are doing pretty good. Take a look at something going on now. I got Ruck. What's good, Ruck? What's going on over there? What's going on? Actually, I'm the one behind because I'm rushing in late, like always, it seems. So let me go pull up a couple of programs so I can make sure I got you guys all in the mix. Ruck, how you been, my guy? How you been doing? And I got everything screwed up for this one. So, all right, as it comes in, it comes in, and we rock it from there. I'm surprised I didn't do that earlier. Anyway, uh, as I was moving around some areas of social media, I was actually on a couple of people's streams throughout the weekend before I just decided to finally just chill out the entire time. And I had a thought that crossed my mind about the idea of how people look at people on content as far as Rock, you coming in the door just reminded me of something that I gotta be doing. But how people look at things like authenticity and all kind of other stuff. What? 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 Oh, sorry. I got a Discord thing going on. So yeah, as all my other programs catch on, because I put on my programs late, we'll get into that. But I was having this conversation with a lot of different people, and I was also having a conversation with a person on a particular stream, and we had a side conversation that happened on Discord, and it made me think about this whole idea of people needing to. Sorry, it's getting in my damn ears. Sorry, I can't really think. The idea of people who it's like a zero-sum game when it comes to a lot of people. You're, we are so much, we are so divisive in culture right now. And I say culture, I mean culture, communication, everything. That it's a if or, it's one or the other. We are losing the concept of being nuanced as people. You know, I always say that you're more than one thing. You are not the sum of your problems. You are only a microcosm of some shit that's been going on. You can change up and you can become something totally different in the future. But at the same time, when I'm saying that, the thing that I notice online is that you're just one thing and you will forever be that one thing, and that's just the end of it. Which to me is absolute bullshit. But that's what I'm tending to see. You said you're pretty frustrated with the was pretty confused with the computer probably been catching up on your streams. I appreciate you for catching up on my streams for sure, for sure. Apparently I'm having computer problems my damn self because I'm late doing a whole lot of other stuff. So yeah. So wait, we nuance. I love it. Yeah, we are nuanced. I am for one. I see this for a lot of people, and I'll say it for myself. Like we are not every time that we fell on our face. We're not every time that we've been drunk. We're not every time we've overslept. We are not that. We are allowed to change ourselves whenever we want. We're allowed to also change our perspectives. And when it comes to the idea of being online, even when the things that we are vastly different than how we used to be, people, especially online, love to come along and then go through our timeline, our history, like you said, catching up on my social media, right? And then see things or hear things that they didn't necessarily agree with. Not that me or anyone else, even yourself, will still hold, and then try to put forth a whole campaign. And when I think about this, I'm also thinking about like the cancel culture type shit. You know what I mean? I think it's really weird. And by the way, if you're on the Kick or the Twitch side, you can also say what's up as well. We'll get into that. And I think it's just really, really crazy how we could look at that. Because a lot of people will say this. I like watching so and so because I like their takes, or I like them because they're authentic, right? How real is that though? How honest is that? Because I think a lot of people like to judge a lot of people based on personalities. And by the way, there's not one single person, especially online, who doesn't have a personality. There's not one person alive who doesn't have a personality. I don't give a fuck if you're mute. You have a personality. But instead of understanding that people have different arrays of personalities, the only thing I see a lot of people online like to do is find out what they don't like about a person. They never really think to emphasize all the things that they really do like about a person. They only want to highlight the things that they really dislike about a person. And you know me, I give no quarters. So if that's what you want to do with me, I do that shit with you. Now, that doesn't mean just because I'm not willing to, I'm getting the mud, that I feel like being comfortable with you in it. That doesn't mean I'm also not comfortable being in the mud. It's just that after a while, you have to realize that both of you guys are just rolling around in shit. And at some point, someone has to decide whether they want to get clean or not. And some people are okay just being dirty bastards. Now, if that's you, congrats. It means you've always been dirty and no one should really ever expect anything from you. Some people just believe that their entire existence should just be about how they can ruin things for everyone else. And that's your problem at the end of the day. So when I say that people are nuanced, we absolutely are. We change as much as the weather does. But this idea of people saying we like people who are authentic, we appreciate authenticity, I question that right now. I question that for people online. I question it for some people that are actually offline as well. At least I get more of a real natural response for people who are actually offline in real life. But for those who are online, it's tough to read them. Especially it's tough to read them is when you're dealing with people on a panel, because most of these people, you cannot see their face. So that means you have to decipher tone. You have to decipher talking points. You have to decipher their point of view and then run a metrics, run a program, a script in your head to see if it falls in line with other people who have their particular points of view. Okay, well, you say momentary authenticity, right? Give me an example of momentary authenticity. Just so we could have a good idea, because I could say something and I'm not really sure what it means to you. Because to me, you being authentic is you being authentic unless you always want to be a character. Now, you always want to be a character, you're an actor or something like that, that's cool. That's no problem. Just remember that if you're always on, if you're always in your character, you can't be mad when you're exhausted and then you want people to know the real you. You can't. Because when you decide to let your hair down, as they say, and you decide to show the real you, you know what they're going to say? Who the fuck is this? You're being fake right now because you don't provide the real you. You've only provided a character. You've only provided a mask. And as they say, all masks at some point are going to slip. So when your mask does slip, what do? What do you say? How do you present it? How do you explain your entire time of not being yourself? I'm making your point. Okay. I'm glad that I said it then. And I think a lot of people, especially online, what's good, KM? My program is behind. My program is fucked up. I did this all late, so my program is not catching up. I am a little disappointed. Oh, it's totally behind. Hold up. Let me refresh this. Let me do something here. Okay. Maybe this will do it. All right. So I got KM in there. I got Ruck in there. Oh, cool. Yes. Miss Raven's in the building. All right, cool. I got the program up. Good. I got tired of looking at my laptop already. And I have to remember that I'm actually on StreamYard tonight. What's good, Miss Raven? I haven't seen you in a while. And there's this thing, right? Like I said, where so many people have the same thing that they're saying all the time. Let's be honest. We can't say it's like really a conventional thought when we see way too many people spewing out the same points. And when I say the same points, it's one thing if I say something that's very similar to you, but not the same verbatim. So a great example is the idea of saying, we all know that women are hypergamous. That is a point word for word that you can hear across the internet. It's like when you see the streams and you see the news anchors, and the news anchors are all saying the same thing word for word. Like, you can hear that in different conversations across shit. And I always find it like, so where'd you get that from? Nope, let me like, you just set off an alarm bell. Where did you get that from? Because I have a feeling that this is not an original thought. It's not an original thought. So the ideal, going back to the point, Ruck, is originality. The act of being authentic is a game that's being lost. And I think the game of it is being lost is because we're no longer viewing ourselves as people who are nuanced. We're losing the culture of communication. We're losing the culture. We're losing the nuanced culture of communication. You're either hot or cold, Pepsi or Coke, left or right, Democrat or Republican, conservative or Marxist. Like we're it's one or the other, not people who actually use their brains and make very discerning decisions, but also can appreciate the differences that happen in a lot of different shit. And I think it's a shame because I don't like, and you guys heard me say this for a while. I don't write off a person just because they say one thing that I don't like. But in the culture of communication that we see today, a person will write off an entire individual as something that they have to see mostly negative, not even positive, not even indecisive. They don't even say, you know what? I don't think I should talk to you because you haven't made up your mind yet. In fact, I never hear that. You know what, Resla? You're probably a smart individual. I said probably. But I don't think I could really talk to you because you haven't made up your mind yet. Nobody said nobody. Said no one. It's you haven't thought about this, you're dumb. And because I think that you're dumb, then that means you're on the opposite side of me, which means that you must be, if I'm a conservative, that means you must be a liberal. You must be a Marxist. You must be and you're black. So that means you like to go after black women only. So that means you're a darky diddler. And it's like, oh, so exhausting. And I'm like, so you said all that to say what? To say what? Because here's the truth of the matter. You didn't hear me actually say shit. And you betrayed yourself by saying way too fucking much and me not saying enough for you to ever be satisfied. There are some people that you just can never satisfy, and I would really suggest not even trying. But the lengths that they will go to place you in a box is just, it used to be interesting, and now it's just highly unoriginal. Coach of communication, yes, Ruck. I said, gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep going and use that phrase. Take it. I just made it up. Use it. Coach of communication. Absolutely. You said shit. Oh, what? Forget. I'm on StreamYard tonight. I tell you, I'm forgetting. Like, I'm forgetting. I can pull you guys comments up. I'm working on that on my other program. I just haven't in a bit. I haven't worked on my program all weekend. You said shit. I need a soundbite that says shit. We all know. Yeah, we know it takes a lot. Because I'm normally thinking about things. It takes me a bit to say things, or it takes me a bit to figure out what I want to say to somebody, because I'm actually having several conversations as I'm trying to talk to people. I know I'm a weirdo. I'm crazy like that. Like, when I talk, and I've said this many times, I'm having conversations in my head. So sometimes I'm saying things and I'm just like, that doesn't sound right. And I pause myself in between because I'm like, how can I restructure this sentence? Shit, somebody's looking at me right now, or I'm live right now. Let me just say something. Now, when I tend to just want to fly off the fucking handle, I say a bunch of shit. KM, you and I have plenty of conversation about this. I say a bunch of shit, and then you'll laugh because you'll clip it or whatever. Even when I'm not being funny, and then you'll just be like, "Here, take a look at this," and I'm like, I don't even recall saying that because it's the first thought, and I can't remember my first thoughts. I can only remember my second thoughts, the thoughts that I'm curating, that I've twisted to make sure that it's as clear to me as possible or clear to you as possible. What's clear to me is in my mind. What goes in my mind is already clear. How you guys interpret it is going to be different. So that's my second thought. Yeah. Yeah. When I think out loud, sometimes we think out loud. And when I think out loud, it tends to be my first thought. Which one of the reasons why you guys even see when I get into my modes, and I'm like, sometimes I just like drinking because then I could just really have my first thought out there. The only thing I can just hope is that I don't put my fucking foot in my mouth. That's all. But I like having my first thoughts because I'm not exhausted. I don't feel mentally exhausted, especially for like when I'm sitting at, like, if I sit in a meeting, I'm going through more than one thought. Sometimes I have one thought and then I have a second thought and I'm not talking and I'm realizing that there are a whole bunch of eyes that are looking at me. If I'm in a conference and it's like online, there's a whole bunch of people watching me and I'm like, shit. Especially if I brain fart because like a random question will pop up from somebody or a random thought that had no business being there pops up, like, hey, I'm talking about this, I'm talking about that, I'm explaining something, I may have a clicker and I'm explaining something on a PowerPoint or whatever, and then all of a sudden I'm looking at Michelle's blouse. Her blouse is looking a little extra perky. And and I'm like, I'm sorry, everybody. I lost my point. Let me go look where I was real quick. Let me go look for where I was real quick. That was crazy. I was just wondering if it was going to rain today, and I just totally lost my track. My bad, people. My bad. And like shit, like so, it takes a lot of brain power to be able to focus. You know what I mean? Is it cold in here? AC, the AC in the building's kind of cold today. So yeah, I got a little distracted. That's all. And I kind of get into it. So the act of people saying like they want people who are authentic, right? I don't think that's really the case anymore. There most definitely was a time, I believe, where the being seeing and finding people who shared authenticity was a staple that people really wanted. But nowadays, I don't think it's the case. I really don't. And since I got my program up and it looks like it's running properly, like I said, if you're on Kick or Twitch, feel free to actually type. I can see your stuff in the chat as well. If you got something going on, I will let it be known. Oh, forget. We're on StreamYard. So yes, everybody, I'll see everybody's shit. I'm so used to my program because I'm not really on StreamYard like that. So the idea of people looking for people that they identify, that they are cool with, and all this other stuff online, it's just falling apart. People are falling more into categories, in my opinion, of those who they either see as friend or foe. That's just the only way how I can identify it now. They are quickly assessing whether they find this person like-minded or find this person as totally disagree. And by the way, I've said this for a long time. I don't 100% agree with anybody. Nobody. I do not 100% agree with anyone. Just because we can agree on a couple of things does not mean that we can now say that we are brothers in this now. Like, absolutely not. So that's my first thing about authenticity. And then I have to worry about the aspect of authenticity. And Ruck, you were saying it earlier in the stream. The people who are faking being authentic because they've never been authentic. They have a mask on. They have, as you say, momentary authenticity. What you said, Miss Raven, I saw your chat a moment ago. Many people are quick to condemn others without, online without knowing a thing about them. Communication has become such a, you said such a pick me echo chamber. I wanted to say that very clearly. What you say? A pick me echo chamber. It's ridiculous. Pick me. Pick me. That's great. Because people like to say that what pick me's are, which is crazy. Because I'm like, wouldn't you want to be a pick me? Don't you want to be chosen? Anyway, that's a different conversation that goes into DMP. We're not here to discuss DMP, but anyway, we're not here to do that. You're behind a sec. I do say a lot. And I know it'd be stressful. I know it'd be stressful for UKM when I'm like, this is a stream. I have no idea what the stream is going to be like. I have no idea what I'm really going to say. I'm going to turn off the possibility of having the VOD. That means if you saw it, you saw it. If you didn't, you didn't. I make sure that after that stream goes unlisted. I know those days be pissing people off. I know KM. Sometimes I'm a menace. I know. Like, how the fuck am I supposed to see it now, wrestler? You private it. I said, well, actually, I didn't private it. I actually just unlisted it. Same shit. And I'm just like, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. It's just like there's something that was wrong in the stream, and I have to correct it. And I don't want it just sitting up there where someone could just scroll back, just finger fuck the keyboard so they can go get themselves a nice little clippable moment. And I'm like, yeah, I really fucked up there. I don't even know what I really said. I have to go back and listen to it myself. And I don't want someone to say, I heard what he said. Ooh, I heard what he said. I finger fuck that shit to go look back. So I'm like, sometimes I'm like, this VOD needs to get some reworking on. So, sometimes. So, listen, Miss Ray, I said what I said. I said sometimes. I don't make that many mistakes. I said sometimes. I know I can say a lot of crazy shit, but they're at least intentional. But there's sometimes I make mistakes that are not intentional. And I got like, I really got to go back to really check that out. Hey, Ruck, you can steal this too. I'm intentionally unintentional sometimes. All right. That's the way I'm going to say it. I'm intentionally unintentional. All right. And sometimes I gotta go back. But when I'm like, not intentional and it really comes out, I really got to go back and check it. That's all. Sometimes I just know I'm going to be flagrant, and that's fine. Because at least I can say, I know what I said, and I said what I said. But when I have to go and say, I don't even know what I said, I got to check that out. I got to go back and check that out. I have to go back and check that out because that's crazy. Listen, you can agree to disagree all you like. This is the internet. All I do is deal with people who disagree, not even agree to disagree. So that's a step up. Agreeing to disagree is good. In fact, you're meeting the threshold. I just get motherfuckers to turn around and say, I disagree. And then I'll break down the entire shit and they be like, I understand what you said, wrestler. I still disagree. And I'm just like, you know what? You do you. You do you. I was trying to hit you at least. I was trying to give you the Black Eyed Peas. Can you meet me halfway? And they're like, no. In fact, so much that I don't want to meet you halfway. I'm going to tell you, brother, I don't even like Black Eyed Peas. I don't like anything black. And I'm just like, okay, now you made it. Now you made it racial for no reason. We were talking about comprehension. I don't know how we went that far. I don't know how we went that far. Just to make sure that you're on the extreme side of disagreeing. And this is the common tropes that I'm seeing on the internet. And sometimes you get someone who they are a conventional, not conventional. Let me not say conventional. That's not the proper way I want to say it. They are a no, I'm even fucking up the word in my own head, so I don't want to say it loud. They communicate on the fence. So you might have somebody that has no problem disagreeing with you, and I don't have a problem with that, but they like you. And one of the things they like to do is they like to disagree with you. And they don't like to disagree with you because of your takes. Because, like, let's be honest, you guys know this. There are some people that they love to disagree with because they have a feeling that person's gonna crash out. And then there are people who they like to disagree with because that person who's disagreeing is so thoughtful that they may say something that even when they pose the actual situation or pose the thought, they didn't even think about. And I think there's some people who are like that with me. Hey, I'm going to push back on something you said. I'm like, okay, here we go. And they say something and I'm going, well, have we considered this or have we considered that? Or this is how I see it. And I'm going to tell you how I got there. And they're just like, that's how you got there? No, we both came to the same conclusion, but mine was this way. And that's how I got there. And you went a totally different way I didn't even consider. And that's how you got there. And there goes that kind of respect thing. Now, we can talk about other things that we absolutely don't agree with. But at the same time, it's like we found common ground. You know what I mean? And I think the idea nowadays is like nobody wants to find common ground. Here's a great example. I think communication, especially online, has become a game of musical chairs. And not everybody understands the song that's being played. Does that sound fair? How does that sound to you? There's a song being played in the background. Nobody knows what the song is. But when the music stops, you gotta go get in the fucking chair. And the one who is not in the chair at the end of the music is the one that has to do, I want to say, one of three things. They are the person that's about to get jumped on. They don't know it. It's a weird game. They don't know it, and I'm not even sure all the other participants know that they're doing it. They get jumped. They either gotta say something really stupid or foolish, or crash out. Even they could do that, or they can concede to somebody's point in order to try to stay in the game. It's a weird thing. It's a very, very weird thing that I see, and I'm not really sure why it happens. Because then you'll get somebody like, well, I'm hearing what people are saying, right? But would you concede that if this happened, and I'm like, say I'm the odd person out that doesn't understand the music. I'm like, no. Well, you're gonna tell me why everybody else agrees to this one thing, you don't? And I'm like, yeah. That's exactly what's happening here. I don't. How is it doesn't make sense? Because it doesn't make sense to me. Now, if you want my opinion on it, I'll give you it. But outside of that, I don't want to do it. I just don't want to do it because it's really not that important. Because you know what I don't want to be going up against? Commonly phrased echo chamber and talking points. Narratives and talking points. It's one thing I have to decipher that shit when I talk to you guys online. It's another thing to have to sit there and go through a breakdown with somebody on echo chamber points, narratives, and talking points just so they can turn around and say, you're wrong. And then you guys maybe in the chat will be like, see, wrestler, you tried. Or he's stupid. Or whatever. Okay. But you know what happened to me? I wasted something very important. Time and my breath. Why do that with someone who's not going to listen anyway? Stockbots in the building. He said, yo, fam, what's going on, my guy? You got to give him, listen, you got to get your partner one of those with something stronger than the habanero, man. You got to get him on something. I need to see some vomit next time. I need him to pray to Jesus. I need him to get on. I need him to pray. And y'all gotta take away the water. And you gotta have a whole betting party on it. You gotta do that too. You gotta do that. In fact, no, keep the milk. Keep the milk. Keep the milk. Have everybody put in like a pot. And then have somebody take a hot pepper and see how long they last before they reach for the milk. You gotta have a bet for it. Oh, maybe you could do it as a group thing. You could do it as a group thing, man. So you got a lot more bring the content out. Do a group thing. Y'all can all have a spicy pepper, and you gotta there's a whole pool thing, like who's the one that's gonna fold first, and the person who stays the longest under that pressure is the one that wins the pot. Free content, man. Free content idea. Said you're getting it all edited. Apps. Listen, do your thing. I was laughing when I saw that shit. I was like, damn, he put this man. He could at least had a little. He could have gave him a little bit of a warning. He gave him the fucking Scotch. He could have gave him a Scotch bonnet, and he went for the whole habanero. Go a whole shit, and the one that wins, like that, they suffered the most, so therefore they get the pot. So another thing I was talking about, is personality. So everyone's personality can be criticized online. Everyone's personality. It doesn't matter if you're someone in the chat. It doesn't matter if you're someone who does content, whether you're on camera or off camera. Anyone's personality and all personalities will absolutely be criticized at a moment's notice. Because there's always going to be someone who agrees, someone's going to disagree. In fact, if your personality is to agree with something that you like, other people will criticize you for agreeing with something that they don't like. Not that you did anything to them, not even that the thing that was being said is your thing. If you just say, you know what, I kind of agree with that. They're like, they hiss at you. It's like, damn, seriously? Is that what we're doing here? And they'll hiss at anything, by the way. They will dislike anything. They will dislike people who are loud, who are obnoxious. They'll dislike you for being quiet, because quiet people are considered to be boring. They don't like, actually, KM, because when I was on RLM stream, people don't like other people who are thoughtful about their words. They don't like people who are explaining things. They don't like people who are really considerate about the things that are coming out of their mouth. You saw that yourself. Because they just want you to sound like a cartoon character or a goddamn fool. You saw it yourself. Don't let some of those people come to my spot. They already know better. They're going straight to the fucking shadow realm. Like straight to the fucking shadow realm. Say your light in the building. What's going on, my G? What's going on, my guy? Wait, no. I mean, I can't keep agreeing with you. You're already fucked. Hey. You better straighten up. You better straighten up when you on those other people's chat. Don't let someone like Angry Casper see you. He really gonna be mad. Listen, That motherfucker is on. He on something. He's on something. I don't care what nobody tell me. Listen, if there were levels to ADHD, all right, just saying. And the whole time, I'm laughing. I was doing something I normally don't do. I was sitting there and just enjoying the bullshit. Love his heart, more like bless his heart. That motherfucker couldn't get math right. I was watching for like 3 years. I was like, nice, but I haven't made it 3 years yet. He's like, yeah, you're like 20 years my senior. You're a whole boomer. I'm like, how? You said you've been watching me for 3 years, and you called me a boomer. The math ain't mathing. The math ain't mathing. The math is not mathing. I was like, you sound dumb as shit. And I'm enjoying it. I'm just there like, this is crazy. This motherfucker really being stupid right now. Hey, you might want to just chill. You might want to, because it's not looking good. And it's obvious he doesn't. Folks, it's obvious that there are people who don't do what I do. So the first thing in their mind is the first thing that goes out. And there are people like myself. The first thing in their mind is not the first thing that goes out. There are some people like they just immediately just regurgitate, just throw up everything, the first thoughts in their goddamn mind. And I just think like, not my thing. Not my thing. There are some people like they just go out in half thoughts. Not even full sentences, just half thoughts. Half thoughts need to get out there. Half thoughts just flowing out there. It's like how do you say? It's like dealing with the people that are bipolar. They're trying to have a regular conversation. It's like, bitch, fuck you. Everything is work. My bad. I didn't mean that. I'm just saying, yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean that. Yes, I did. No, I didn't. Yes, I did. No, I did. Yes, I did. Like, I'm so sorry. Like, I'm so sorry. Like, some people they're just all over the place. And this is why we say bless their heart. So there are people who just not gonna like your personality regardless. I try to give 3 things for people: care, mercy, and grace. I'm not gonna run my gambit through that. But there are people that regardless of what you do, regardless of where you go, and regardless of what you say, new people, old people, and people somewhere around in between. By the way, with a lot of people, apparently there's nothing in between because you got to pick a side. You got to pick a side. Either they like you or they don't like you. They don't want to say, I like some things about you and I don't like other things about you. That's not what they do. They go, you know what? In fact, they don't even bother going through the list of like, here's a list. I'm going to go through the list. I'm going to do a pros and cons of everything I like about Ruck. I like this about Ruck. I like that about Ruck. I like this about Ruck. I like that about Ruck. And then I'm going to go, I don't like this about Ruck. I don't like about that. And then that's not what they do. They do this. I'm going to give a list of everything I don't like about Ruck. And then if he manages to say one thing that I actually agree on, I'm still going to say he's a piece of shit. Because that one thing has nothing to do with everything else I've been monitoring, which is only the negative shit. That's the way how a lot of people, chatters, mods, hypocrites, all of those people, panelists, and even fucking the hosts, the streamers. This is what they do. This is what you do. And it's sad because I think the idea of having a nuanced frame of mind, understanding that people are different, which is weird because you're judging people on a scale that you yourself don't want to be judged on. Isn't that interesting? You are judging people on a scale, on a frame that you yourself do not wish to be judged on. Criticism can become less about behavior and more about finding just any reason to like a particular man, woman, child, ant, or fucking elephant. Looking for any possibility. And when you can't find one, by the way, you know what they're going to say? I don't like what you're wearing. And if they can't see you on camera, I don't like your voice. Anything. If you're making sense, they're like, nope, I don't like it. He's making too much sense to me. I don't want nothing to do with it. If you're not making sense, you make it all easier for them. You make everything easier for them. If you're talking, you make it sense, and they just don't want to hear you. They're just like, and everybody. Let's just say if you're on a panel and they're just like, you know what? Yeah, I like that. You know what? Yeah, I agree with that. What's your thought on what he just said? Some things kind of change up, but you know, I think I can go. And then maybe you look at somebody in the chat and they were like, I don't like anything. All I heard. I don't like him. Here's the truth of the matter. You probably do. You probably do. You're just afraid to. You're just afraid to embrace that the words that you like is just from the chocolatey Confucius. You just don't like it. You don't like it. You don't like the way it makes you feel that you had to hear everything from me. You were hoping that somebody else that you already knew who was on some fuck shit said something enlightening. You just didn't like the fact that I said it. Why do I think some people do that? I think people are trained. I don't think this is a real world thing. I think people are trained to do this because of the way how the spaces that they run around in. It's learned behavior. It's learned behavior, and most likely they were on plenty of spaces that not only the mods, but also the creator and everything else allowed it to happen because, quite frankly, it is better. I'm going to tell you what goes on through a lot of other creators' minds, right? It's better to have somebody typing in the chat that hates you, right? Rather than someone who's not watching you at all. Some people say, I'd rather piss somebody off or say something I don't like and have them go back and forth with me because you know why? The engagement works well for the metrics, for the algorithm. Emperor, what's going on? So a lot of people are like that. Better that they say something rather than nothing. I thought the old adage was, if you got nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all. And to me, you can critique whatever you like. But if you're going to critique, it should make motherfucking sense. Say, you have to have a strong enough reason as to why you actually don't like something outside of the fact that they're saying too many words from me. And I'm like, that means you're slow. That's what you're saying about yourself. I don't think you know that though. You're saying you're slow. If I'm sitting there and I'm saying things and other people who are there get it, and you're sitting there watching and you go, where you at? Where you at? Where you at? You're slow. And I know you don't want to put yourself in that category. You want to believe that you're an intelligent individual, but you're slow. And that's no one's problem with yours. You know? Oh, you said that was the fellow on Arlen's panel with me? Huh. I don't know which person you're talking about. I'm not really sure which person you're talking about. Crazy. That was like days ago. Same thing. Same thing, Rook. Learned and trained. How are you trained? You're put through the paces. You learn to see something, or someone put you through the paces through it, and then you pick it up as a behavior. So it's the same thing. You have to see it, and you have to do it. And if it's considered to be okay in both sides, it's learned and trained behavior. You can learn it by doing it, and you can also learn it by watching it. You know? So it's the same thing. Because if no one is condemning it and everybody's condoning it, you just learn something. And this is why I also say, Rock, there are so many people that don't understand when to understand that it doesn't happen everywhere you go. So people have learned, or rather have been trained through behavior to believe that where they see something in one place, it's now something they can do everywhere they go. And then they have to learn the hard lesson when someone like me puts them in the shadow realm. Like, I don't care where the fuck you came from. I don't care where the fuck you came from. When you're here, you're in my house. You're in my house. Everyone here in this club, we got rules. We gonna do the whole John Wick shit. And rules, if we don't have rules, we're no different from the animals. We got rules. You can't handle the rules? Time to pack you up. That's it. That's all. If you don't know the rules, do yourself a favor. Sit down, shut up, and it's time to learn. Just learn. Don't think that you're going to be the person who can change the rules. Like, you sound like a brand new person, entry level, walking in and saying, well, my mother lets me stay up till midnight. Like, I don't give a fuck. You come in and you learn the rules of this house. And if you don't like it, you get the fuck out. It's just that simple. Well, when I'm over in so-and-so's place, they would never tell me to leave. Isn't that cute? Are you at so-and-so's place? Well, no. Then eat a dick. Now it's time to go. I mean, it's just that simple. Hey, listen, and KM, guys, KM, Emperor, you've been here a little later, so you don't really know this. Ruck, you would know this. Miss Raven, you would know this. And if we had other people that in here that would only be in here, they would know this as well. Oh, Stackbot would obviously know this. Like, not for nothing. I'm like, you could fucking go. It's all good. But here's my thing. When I go now to other people's platforms, right? When you see me on those rare occasions, like as I said with KM, and you see me in a rare occasion where I go to someone else's panel, it could be a year, 2 years later, and motherfuckers is still salty about something that happened on my panel. I'm going to hate him forever. 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 I'm like, I don't even remember why you're not around anymore. Wow, you still hate me? Listen, y'all on the Diddy Nah shit. You can hate me now, cause I won't stop now, and I can't stop now. You can hate me now, like y'all just damn. I didn't even know you was. I can't remember why we don't even talk no more. You still hating me a year or two later? That's wild. You ain't get over you ain't get over yourself. Not get over me. I got people that come to me talking, I can't stand you because I went to your panel or I went into your chat one time and you did this. And I'm like, who are you? I don't even know who you are. Was it like under a different name, a different account? What did we talk about? I don't even know what we were talking about. I just think I was being a little bit funny in your chat. Oh, I get it now. You were you were doing a very bad job of being a troll. And you got sent to the shadow realm. Gotcha. You thought that you should have unlimited tries because we dragged your ass out like this was showtime at the Apollo. And you're mad about that. You didn't fucking win the crowd over that you bombed. You're mad. 2 years later. Well, if he had only let me stay, I guarantee you I would have won the crowd over. No. You wouldn't have. You wouldn't have won the crowd over. You bombed. Well, if you'd just given me another chance. Hey, you know what they say, right? You only have one moment, one shot to make a good impression. That's what they say. And I believe that. You can have other time to change shit around after the first time, but you only get one good time to show a good impression. And when you come in with tactics and antics that come from someone else's space and you don't even know who the fuck you're watching, can't be mad at what happens. Well, I came over from so-and-so's space and they let us do that. I'm like, so the fuck what? What I gotta do with me? See, when I go to so-and-so spot or whoever the fuck, I acquiesce as to what they deem are the rules. And typically, when I go to a person's place, you know what I tend to do? I stay the fuck quiet, whether it's in the chat or whether I'm on a panel, because the first thing I'm trying to do is assess the room. Unless I get called out quickly, I'm trying to assess the room. And if I got a decent idea of the room, I'm always in the chat, listening, lurking, maybe participating. But you think I care about where you came from? If you come from a place that basically lets you kick your fucking feet up and put their dirt on their fucking furniture, do not expect that around me. I don't give a flying fuck about it. When you come here, you gonna take your shoes off at the motherfucking door or get tossed out on your ass. That's it. That is all. It's not a negotiation. So when I see people who want to critique, I don't have a problem with when people have criticisms. But when you critique, you should really have a strong reason as to why you have a disdain for somebody. If your shit sounds like something that a high schooler would do, you don't deserve any respect. You don't deserve respect. Because the majority of people who flutter around in different areas of the panels and everything like that, you know what they're not? They're not sitting around from 18 to 24. They're older. They're like 28 to like fucking 30 something and above. I want to say the minimum is in their mid to late fucking 30s. So when you're sitting there behaving like asking questions, talking like a teenager, asking questions like a teenager, and holding grudges like someone that just put you on fucking just grounded you and shit. You don't deserve respect. You don't deserve respect because you're talking like a person. I'm going to say it how they say it. You're talking like someone whose brain isn't fully developed yet. You're deficient. Your brain isn't fully developed yet. You're mentally stunted. Your frontal lobes is not fully developed yet. That's how you sound. And not for nothing. How dare you, wrestler? I'm in my 40s and you sound like this? You're in your 40s? And you sound like this. Worse, you produce children. But then again, I can critique. You know why I can critique? Because you can critique. Because this is the nature of the game. But at least if I'm going to critique you, I'm going to have a strong reason as to why you should get critiqued. Most of the time when I hear, at least tell me why. Let me know why you're mad at me. Tell me, please. Tell me why. And most of the time, it's really fucking stupid. It's really some lame shit. I'm just like, I thought like I met you and I swindled you out of money, or remember that time when you came to my house in San Diego? I'm like, no, but continue. Yeah, yeah, and then you went and you met my husband, you met my sister, you met my mom, you met my kids. I'm sitting there going like, okay, keep going. I have no recollection of this. Yeah, yeah, and then you said, well, it was a great night. I made you dinner. I made my favorite chicken Alfredo. I'm like,
wait, what?
No, did you ask me for any dietary restrictions or anything like that? She's like, no, but you was there. I remember you were there. I'm like, oh, okay, continue. Yeah, yeah. And then you met my grandma, and then you all of a sudden you smacked her in the ass. And I'm like, I did? Yeah, but she liked it, so we let it rock. And then, you said, you had to go to the hotel room afterwards because you said, it was a great night. And I said, no, we got a spare guest room. Everything was all good. And then you know what you did? You know what you did, Russ? I'm like, I don't know. What did I do? You fucked my sister and my mother-in-law. When did this happen? It happened last year in October. And I'm just like, what day? And they're probably going to pick a day that I was streaming here in my office. And I'm going to be like, are you sure that was me? Or do we just all look alike? And by the way, I just want to say this. If you're saying that we're all look alike, you're saying that all of us black men look handsome. I'm just saying. So, but you got your stories. You got your stories. Listen, this is your story. It is what it is. So I'll sit there and just let you talk. And it's like, okay, cool. Because everyone's allowed to critique. Everyone's allowed to critique. The idea that you have other shit going on in your life, though, and somehow you're so mentally degraded that you just blame other shit for what's going on. Instead of you actually going outside in the real world and actually touching some goddamn grass or actually figuring out the problems as to what the hell you got, the idea that you would take all your anger and frustration and your brokenness and take that shit onto other people's platforms is just absolutely crazy to me. And another thing I'm going to talk about, right? Something else that we're not allowed to have. Because you need to be on one side or the other. Let me ask you something, folks. Now, I don't walk around and peruse the internet as much as some of you other guys do. And again, no shade, not shitting on you. Maybe you're a person who stays online all the time. Maybe you're a person who looks at content all the time. Maybe you're a content creator. Or maybe you just you wake up, you look for a panel, or you look for a channel, or you taking a shit, you look for a panel, look for a channel. You eat food watching shit. You take a shit watching shit. You before you go to bed, you watch shit. You fall asleep to it watching shit. You're just a person who's just stuck watching YouTube all but fucking blessed day. Maybe you are. My thing is that how the fuck are you gonna fix that shit? Fix your actual life doing that. But the other thing that's also important, right? Here's the other thing that's also important. When was the last time that you really saw somebody have humility? Not your stupid little titles. So-and-so was shown humility. not someone was humbled. When was the last time you saw somebody really show humility? When did that happen? What's good, Raw? What's going on? Got Rooster in here as well. What's good, my guy? You say it don't happen much. Why? Are we saying that people are not honest and sincere enough in the world in general, that people just don't have humility anymore? Let me understand it. So either you're a rage baiter or you're a stoic. No one is nuanced, because to have humility, you need to understand a lot of different perspectives, and you need to be able to understand things to be able to present yourself a particular way, to be humble. Again, another thing that's not being showed: modesty. Why is it we can't be modest? I get demonized for being modest online and offline. If I did all the fucking hard work, to be honest with you, I stopped doing that, by the way. Just want to let you know. Like, but back when I used to like really have large teams, I would do a lot of work, and then I would be so modest, like, hey, I couldn't have done without my team. Or look at this person, like they did a lot of work, da 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 da. Or somebody's like, you know what, Wrestler, you did a good job here, and I just go, couldn't have done it without my team. And you know what I would be told? Okay, calm the fuck down. We know what you did. I'm just saying, I want to put shine on my team or my department. That's all. People don't like that, and they especially do not like modesty online. Not at all. They want the opposite. Me. I need all of it. Yet they call it fake. Because the idea of building rapport is not about building rapport. It's about building favors. Oh yeah, the humble brag. Yeah. I didn't even consider that one. You're right about that one, the humble brag. They don't think about rapport. I'm building rapport with my team. I'm the kind of person that if someone comes in as a manager or someone who's higher than me comes in, I like to put my team in a good light. I'm not just building rapport with them, but I'm also letting them know in front of other people who can be game changers for them, that you could be able to talk to this person in the future. Or if you really be on your P's and Q's, you can talk to me and I can talk to that person because you was in the fucking very room when I said what I said about my team. But that's not the way how a lot of people look at it now, do they? And I've been told by managers, like, you don't need to turn around and say all the great things about your team. I'm like, why would I not want to say? Could you imagine that? Could you imagine Tom fucking Brady? And at any time this motherfucker's on a fucking camera, locker room, during the game, halftime, whatever, taking a piss, all he does is say negative shit. Could you imagine that? You get fucked up like Jamie Foxx and fucking Any Given Sunday. You get your ass sacked every goddamn play. But online, they can't even do that. And I'm like, why? Here's the funny part about that too. They won't even give people who are not even content creators. This is the part that's really crazy, by the way. People who are not even content creators won't give respect and shine to the people that put them on their platforms. Like, we talked about this, I believe. Quote me if I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong, Cam. But we saw this even on RLM channel. I think we were having a short, brief conversation about it. It was like people who show up and they don't even show up for you as the content creator. They don't show up for your content. They don't show respect to the host or even the conversation. They come there to be for other people. And I believe I'm right, because Dennis is the one that said the person didn't come there for the conversation. They didn't even come there for the host or respect the house. They came there to beef with me. What does that say? And I've seen it happen on my platform plenty of times. People have a lack of respect because that's the way, Ruck, going back to you, they learned and was trained. I'm okay with people who have criticisms about things. What I never understood, for nothing. Well, you say for nothing, right? You said for nothing, but they always have a reason. Sometimes I just think the reason is small as they said something and my asshole twitched is a reason. They always have a reason. I was drinking my favorite soda and it just didn't taste right when that person said it. They always got a reason. It's not a great reason. It's rarely a good reason. Yeah. I said what I said. I said what I said. I said what I said. It's never really a good reason, but it's the reason that they give. And this is why I said like they behave like teenagers. When I'm saying, so what's your problem? And they go, because nigga, they as a grown ass man or as a grown ass woman, did you just begin and end with because? Because is not a statement. It's not a question. It's like, what the fuck is because? Like, I agree, bro. I 100% agree on this one. So when I say a lot of the reason why I really don't vibe with a lot of different places and a lot of different places, spaces, and people and their attitudes are knowns is because I dissect a lot of that bullshit. And if I really want to, it's easy for me to break you down. Not because I'm that fucking great, but because you also have a history. So if you're a chatter and you know a lot of different places and you say a lot of shit, guess what? You've also built a profile and a personality. Don't think you need to be on someone's platform, on someone's panel to build a personality. There are people who are going to turn around and say, I love Ruck. Every time I see Ruck, he's really good. He's really cool. And there's going to be some motherfuckers that I don't like Ruck because Ruck likes this person or talks to this person. One time I saw Ruck and he was talking to Wrestler. So now he's forever on my shit list. Never mind. Not that Ruck said anything. In fact, Ruck might have actually been on my platform and wholeheartedly disagree with me. And we just had a whole big back and forth. And Ruck can turn around and say, well, you know what? I'm sorry. I'm gonna do a little bit of mocking of you, Ruck. well, you know what? You know what, Wrestler? You can feel that way. We just disagree, brother. We just disagree. And then someone's gonna be like, man, fuck that man, Ruck. You can't just disagree with Wrestler. I need you to bury him. Tell him he ain't shit. Say fuck his glasses, fuck his hat, fuck his bald head, fuck his studio, fuck his background, fuck his whole channel. I need you to say that, Ruck. They got foam coming down the side of their mouth that's just running down their fucking neck. You gotta say that, Ruck. You gotta say it. Say it. Say it. That's these motherfuckers. Like they got no home training, like just like rabid dogs and shit. That's a lot of people. Say it. Exactly. Say it. They just be losing their fucking shit. And there's nothing you can really do about it. You gotta let them get it out their system. It never ends, by the way, but sometimes you just gotta be like, okay. All right. No. Keep at it. Okay. Like, and they don't like the fact that you're calm, by the way. They don't like the fact that you're calm. Uh-huh. Sure. You sure about that? Yeah, I'm sure about that. Okay. You're still kind of hostile. So go ahead. I'm gonna just drink my beer. What? You gonna drink your beer? I'm talking to you. You know what? I pissed in your beer. No, I'm pretty sure everybody just saw me pour my beer in my glass and I'm drinking it. I'm pretty sure you didn't piss my beer. You're like, well, I wish I pissed in your beer. It's like, you sure you don't need to go get some anger management or go see a therapist? And think, oh, now they're gonna hit you with the talking points. Real men don't go see therapists. I just handle everything myself. And I'm just like, okay, well, you see how that's working out for you. You're running around on the internet space and people's chats, talking not for nothing nigga babble. Are you sure you're doing good? Are you sure you're okay? Are you sure you're good? This is weird. I'm trying to figure out how this outlet is helping you because it seems like you're still pent up. Yeah, foaming at the mouth, like Pentecost, and and you gonna keep all this work and everything for everybody. Did you not hear me? Did you not hear me? Did you not hear me? All of you's gonna get it. In whose name? In my name. In my name. It's like, and so just like, you know what? It's easy to set them off. Just like, you know what? I'm listening to you. Yeah, you better listen. You better listen. It's like, yeah, you're an idiot. And it just reset the whole fire. They just do a whole new log on the fucking fire. Well, let me tell you, you think I'm an idiot? No, you're an idiot. And just like, easy. Simple like a dimple and a pimple. Easy street. Easy. Easy. Like STDs in a whorehouse. Easy. Oh, they don't make me angry either. But they think that they're winning something because, by the way, the back and forth, no nuance in between, is that you're either a winner or a loser. You're either calm or you're angry. You're either docile or you're a debater. That's it. I'm having a conversation with you. Oh, I'm debating you, bro. I'm like, I'm just. Are you debating me? I don't. Were we debating? Like, I'm a little lost. The fuck? When did we start debating? Have you ever been in debate? I argue with my brothers and sisters all the time. Why did you yell when you say that? Couldn't you just tell me, hey, I'm debating you, bro? Like, I argue with my brothers and sisters all the time. No, you sitting there all caps and shit. Like, you on a panel yelling. Yes, I own everybody. I own my friends. I own my teachers. I used to own the babysitters that used to wipe my ass. Like, I debate everybody. I'm a specialist. I'm great. And it's like, nigga. Hey, calm down. Shh. Don't you shush me. It's like, okay. I can't. I'm gonna just sit here till you're done. I'm gonna sit here till you sit there till I'm done. I'm like, oh, okay. You good. You good. I don't know what makes you think that you're okay, but I'm gonna let you go. And the sad part about it is that some people in chats be egging these niggas on. Y'all give them the confidence to believe that they're actually doing okay. Not because the internet said was actually right, made sense, or anything. You know what's the reason why you guys like it? Because they said no words. Because they said, "Oh, you stupid, you dumb, you retarded," and then some of you guys like you're like mentally stunted too. He said retarded. You see that everybody else? He said retarded. I love it. I love it. He didn't make any sense. It doesn't matter. He called them retarded. That's some of you guys. And because you guys are laughing so much in your chat, by the way, which is like, not for nothing, as a person who's been on panels, as a person who does content, watching big emojis and big LOLs. Sorry, Da. Sorry, Emperor. I'm not pointing you out specifically, but like seeing that all over the place is like you being a stand-up comedian telling jokes to a room that's deaf. I can't hear none of you. So I have to imagine it in my head how you would laugh, and you don't want to know. It's good, Con. You don't want to know. Because I never heard your voice. See, I can imagine how Ruck would laugh. I can imagine how KM would laugh. If No Chaser, I would imagine how No Chaser would laugh. I can imagine how Mind Chaos would laugh. But to most of you, it's like, you don't know, you don't want to know what my imagination does. Emoji hater, keep it up. Keep up with those emojis. You might get Nightbot to speak to you. I just spoke Nightbot's name into existence. You better be careful. 1, 2, Nightbot coming for you. 3, 4. Check your emojis at the door. Better be fucking careful, KM. All right. You know how Nightbot is. That heifer don't play. Right. You better be happy that Nightbot doesn't know when you say bitch bot that you're talking about her. Because she did. She just timed you out immediately. Expeditiously, she would. So be happy. Be happy she don't know. She's like, because you know if Nightbot knew, she's like, I'll show you who the bitch. I'll show you right now. And the next thing you would see, KM a whole mod, you would just KM timed out for like 20 seconds. You would see that shit. I'm like, see, you was talking all that. You talking all that shit. You was talking all that shit, KM. You was talking all that shit. See, you fuck with the wrong one. Told you, don't do it. He said, wait, what? Raven, right. Well, what did Miss Raven say? Miss Raven said something? Or you said I was on the OG. I was on an OG panel last. Damn, I'm looking. I'm trying to activate something I can't even activate. Sorry. So there was an OG panel last, and they heard me talk. That's a fact. That's a fact. I felt like you was saying something, Con. I felt like it. You ain't have to say shit. You ain't have to say shit. I felt like you was saying something, Con. Time you out, nigga. I'm looking at the rest of the space, nigga. That's what they do. But I don't know what the I am drinking Kona. This is a beer that I was introduced to by Marathon Kev. When I was in Vegas. He introduced me, and I'm not gonna lie. I don't really run into many depots that have it, but I have one beer depot that I cross by, and it really is pretty good. So I haven't had it in I think a couple of weeks, so I picked it up today as I was driving by. You know what? Tell him that again. Tell him that again. We miss Ruck. We don't see Ruck around as much over here. Tell him we miss Ruck. All right. But since we got people in here, I'm gonna let me restate the question, right? When you guys are on other people's platforms, you can be on the panel, you can be in the chat when you're talking to other people. How many of you guys can actually say that you see acts, not acts, Jesus Christ, ask. Ooh, my God, I'm fucking up. Hold up. I was watching a lot of hood content. Hold up. Jesus Christ. They got me all fucked up. Hold up. I've been watching Caribbean content, hood content. I'm all fucked up right now. Hold up. Whew. Ask yourself, when you are on those damn channels, right? When you're on those panels, yes, it is. It's a Hawaiian beer. Yes. It's got notes of like pineapple and shit like that in it. But when you're on those channels, how often, if you even see it, that you get acts of humility? How often would you say that you see people who are displaying acts of humility or even being modest? That's the question. How many of you guys can actually say that when you're there, you're like, you know what? Damn, this person on the platform is being modest right now. They're being real modest, or they're being really humble right now. And don't confuse humility with being quiet. Let's not also confuse humility with being quiet or being stoic. Let's not confuse that. Being humble does not mean that you're being stoic. Let's just get that out there right now. Yeah, I couldn't even say ACT. I was saying axe. I was like, what the fuck is going on here? How the hell did that happen? Where the T went? I was losing it. I was like, wait, what the fuck? Where the T went? That's crazy. I don't know how that happened. I was losing it. I was like, wait, what the fuck? Did I just put an X in that? That is crazy. So yeah. How often would you say that you see that? Humility. I put the T in later, okay? I did it. I caught myself and I restated it, all right? I sure did. All right? I restated it. I knew exactly what happened. The fuck? So you said humble versus stoic as a topic. If I did it, Ruck, to be honest with you, I don't think you know what? It might actually be a decent topic. I don't know if it would be a stream topic though. I don't know if I could do it as a stream topic, but I will state to you how I currently feel. A lot of people do not know the difference between being humble versus being stoic. Honestly, Ruck, I'm gonna be honest with you as well. I don't think a lot of people, a lot of men, we're not gonna worry about the women. Like,
wait, what?
Yeah, I'm gonna leave. I'm sorry, ladies. I'm gonna leave you women out of it. You got some of y'all, like most of y'all, you don't know what the fuck you're looking for anyway. I'm just be honest with you. You can't just be honest with you. But I think a lot of men do not know what it means to be stoic. I think a lot of men believe being stoic is being a quiet nigga that don't fucking rock the boat. They don't think of, like, I think a lot of men believe that being stoic is just a quiet motherfucker that does not talk until it's time to talk. They really don't understand what it means. That's what I'm personally, in my opinion, how I see a lot of people, especially young men too. They don't get it. I think Xers and millennials are the last people to hold on to what stoicism is. I think a lot of young people are not really getting that right now. That's just my that's my opinion on that. I agree, Con. I agree. You said hell of a convo. It might be, but like I think a lot of people are going to all. Here's my truth in the matter, Ruck. When you say it's like hell of a convo, I think a lot of men are just going to turn around and they're just going to do what a lot of people do. They're not going to state what being stoic is. They're going to do what they're going to give my truth, my version of stoicism. Like that's what it's going to become. It's my version. It's my truth. Like some of you guys sound like fucking Naruto. My ninja way. Not the ninja way, but my ninja way. And I think a lot of men are going to do that. They'll just be like, my truth, my masculinity, my stoicism, it like they wrote the fucking book. If you don't do it my way, then you're not masculine, and you're not stoic. You say you're gonna have some men that say, when I keep my mouth shut, and then when my girl get out of place and I say something, she's like, ooh, okay, yes, daddy. Yes, me. And then some other men, they're like, his wife's going all over the place, and he's looking at her like, watching her just moving around the house, just doing other shit. Kids is like, what should we do? It's like, just let your mom just listen to your mom right now. And then waiting until the one time where some other guy gets up and gets crazy in front of your wife's face, and you already know her for being like, and at one time, you open your mouth and say, hey, yo, you. Fuck you think you are? Don't you ever talk to my fucking wife like this. Don't you ever? I'll punch you in your goddamn mouth. And then all of a sudden, she's like, he's stoic. Like you guys you don't look at definitions. You don't look at the old way how people were trained. But let's be honest. Most men have never been to a charm school, which is not just for women, by the way. There were schools that taught you how to be a gentleman, just like there were schools that taught you how to be a debutante. A lot of men have never been to a charm school, and they come from very low-end places that really never knew how to actually be charming. Oh, motherfuckers will say corny riz-limes all day. But that's not charm. That's just game. It's not charm. Some people have natural charm, but sorry, let me take that back. That's not true. You gain charm from being around people who are charming. That's how you learn. Train and learn. Again, Ruck. Happy that you said that so much earlier. You learn to be charming from watching people who are charmers. You're not just born with charm. Here's a great example of that, Ruck. There's a woman that I ran into. I can't remember how long ago it was. It was this year, though. And she says, you know why I like talking to black men? And I was like, and this is a white woman, by the way. And she said, you know why I like talking to black men? And I was thinking to myself, because you believe that our dick drag across the floor. And she said, oh my God, wrestler, no, that's not what I was thinking. I was like, I wonder.
Wait, what?
I wonder. She said, that's not what I was thinking. And I was like, okay, all right. So what's the reason why you like black men? And she says, because you're all so charming. And I went, do you understand why and I had to explain to her, I said, do you understand why a lot of black men are charming? Well, for one, we're also trained to respect a lot of the women that are in our households. But on top of that, we have to learn to be charmers, because we have to worry about how people interpret us when we're moving throughout the world. So charm is not just a matter of how we approach people in order to get what we want, but it's also used as a method to disarm. So if we run into cops, we have a very big thing about cops. So we have to learn to disarm. So we bring on charm in order to deal with cops. If we deal with hostile people in the workplace, we bring on charm in order to be able to de-escalate the situation that's happening at work. We have to walk around trying to make the world believe that we're not aggressors, that we're not a threat, that we're not predators. So we have to use the aspect of charm. And as she sat there and thought about it, I can see she felt uncomfortable. You know, she's got her little cucumber salad and shit. but like she felt uncomfortable, but she sat there and thought about it. So, I went back to my roast chicken. She had a cucumber salad. And it wasn't until we were like halfway back to the office and she was like, I feel like, she didn't say I feel away. I'm trying to remember the word she said exactly, but she was basically like, I feel bad that that's the way how a lot of you black men have to move around like that. But I also have to say, like, it's one of the things that me and my friends, other white women, we love and respect a lot about you because it makes us feel safe. And I was just like, W black men. W black men. So look, already with the negative shit. Here we go. Here we go. And by the way, I don't know why you're pretending. I don't know why you pretending, Kim. Y'all all believe that our dicks drag across the fucking floor. All right, stop your shit. Stop your shit. Just like a lot of just like the stereotype for a lot of black men is like, y'all like to suck the meat till that shit's off the fucking bone. You know what I mean? Like it just be lights out for us. Just snoring and shit real hard, all right? All right. So everybody's got their own stereotypes, all right? We can say this in a long time. She can suck the chrome off a paint job, you know what I mean? Like stop it. Stop it. Everybody's got their own shit. Yeah. Yeah, it is. It's a real thing. It's a real thing. So I want you guys to think about this. I know a lot of you guys came in a little bit later. If everyone has a personality, it's not even an if. Everyone has a personality. I've dated girls who are low and hard of hearing, practically deaf, and I've actually dated a girl who was mute, understand everything that you were saying, couldn't speak. Actually, she was pretty cool. Not gonna lie to you. It's a little annoying with the whole back and forth texting, but I couldn't falter for it. But beautiful woman. Hispanic actually, which was crazy. You want to hear some? Damn, if I could give stories, that's crazy. If I gave a lot of stories about people that I dated. This chick, I'm gonna tell you about this chick. This chick had a thick Latina chick, right? Thick Latina chick. Met her on a date. It wasn't Tinder. Wasn't Plenty of Fish. What was it? I don't know. There was a bunch of dating sites back then. I met her. We set up a date. She was someone who worked around, not gonna say where, but she worked around the Empire State Building. We'll say that. Thick Latina chick. And I was like, God damn. She had the whole blazer. She had the nice the little heels, everything. She looking nice. Anyway, she couldn't talk. And she had a double problem, by the way. What do I mean by double problem? Not only did she not be able to talk because she was mute, but then it's like God cursed her. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you, it's like God cursed her. She was thick. Yeah, yes, she was thick. Yes, she was. Not only did she not be able to speak because she was mute, I just thought something else. It was in my mind like maybe she couldn't speak because of this particular issue, but it just so happened that she also was mute. So check this out. Not only was she thick, beautiful, caramel skin Latina, but also she had to roll her tongue out. What do I mean by that? You see, like, like these, like the pictures of the chicks, guys, the girls who can stick their tongue out so far, basically touching the bottom of their chin and shit like that. Bitch, they got the big ass tongue, the like snake fucking tongues that come out. Guys, you know what I'm talking about. No, don't you pretend like you holy all of a sudden. Like, no, don't pretend like you like, all of a sudden you like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. Not, no, I went to church last week. I don't know what you're talking about. You're lying. You're a liar. She didn't have one of those either, by the way. I said she had to roll out her tongue. Her tongue was so long that she would open her mouth and have to unroll her tongue. Her tongue was past her chin. Her tongue was like it was like a miniature tie. Her tongue was like dangling like this. Like when she showed me, I was like, I wasn't like my mouth wasn't gape, but I was looking at her like I had to cover my mouth. I was like, oh shit, like I thought you just couldn't talk. I thought you couldn't talk because to deal with society, she literally has to roll her tongue up into her mouth. Let me say that again, ladies, gentlemen. She had to roll her tongue up like a fucking fruit by the goddamn foot. She had to roll it up into her mouth. I'm not lying, Lip. I'm not even lying. I'm not even lying. I'm not even lying. She had to roll her tongue up to put it in her mouth. And I didn't know it was a thing, but guess what? She's not the only person who suffers from that. It's not cap at all. It's not cap at all. It's not cap at all. I didn't know it was a thing. You know what? Actually, is there a wording for it? Women, not even women, people who have long tongues. I wonder if they call it something. Oh, there are people who have Guinness World Records. That's crazy. That's crazy. So the longest tongue is recorded by a male, which is 10.1 centimeters. So that's 3.97 inches, people. And then the woman, channel taper, a female, 9.75 centimeters, which is 3.8 inches. I'm not lying. Like the chick that I was with, like she didn't talk. It just so happened she also was mute, but like she had to basically roll her tongue up into her mouth. And shit was crazy. Like I imagine if she could talk, it would be weird because she has a lot of mouth. And by the way, like your tongue, if you know how the human body is, you can only know that your tongue can only go but so far. Your tongue, go do this. Do this to yourself. Right up in here on your jawline. Your tongue is literally from like right here, like on the bottom clips of your jawline to your mouth, to your teeth. So from here, that's your tongue. So I'm happy you said that because she tells me she has a problem eating soup. And mainly the problem that she had when eating soup. So for instance, when she eats soup, it has to be lukewarm. She can't have hot soup because when she's drinking soup, if it's hot, she burns the bottom of her tongue because her tongue is rolled up. So she really doesn't eat things like soup. So she doesn't really go out to eat because when we were out together, she didn't really want to eat. Here's the funny part about it. She was one of my very first coffee dates. Ruck. So you said mute with the sub. Yeah. So she had a double whammy. She couldn't talk, but she also had a very long tongue. I would call it enlarged, but she got a very long tongue. So it kind of worked out for her, to be honest with you, because imagine if you have a tongue that long that you can't really be able to talk because you got to roll it up and you can talk. You know what I mean? So it just so happened that she thinks it's something that might have happened to her, or at least let me just say it. The conversation that we were having She thinks it's something that happened to her. She couldn't really talk because she had a long tongue, and therefore she believes that it it manifested in her just not talking, and therefore she became mute. And I was like, that's true, because you can't really have conversations with your tongue just hanging out of your fucking mouth, looking like a goddamn I'm thinking Pokemon licky tongue. Like you can't really have conversations being like a goddamn licky tongue, like trying to have conversations. So like it makes sense that in her mind it's just best not to really talk. So like mentally she went mute. It made sense to me. But yeah, bad chick. Don't get me wrong. Very, very beautiful woman. Thick, thick Latina. Oh my God. But like but her writing skills, great. Wrote real fast, everything. But by the way, just want to let you know, she worked as a paralegal. Like, well, let me not say that. She didn't work as a paralegal. She worked in the paralegal's office. I think she might have been an office assistant in the paralegal's office. She wasn't a paralegal, but she worked in the no, I think she might have been going for the bar, to be honest with you. I always had pre-bar chicks. Like, and I've been told you guys, once a chick gets the bar, she passes the bar, all of a sudden she thinks she's better than you. So she's one of the first chicks I actually first had a coffee date with. And on top of that, she was actually trying to get the bar. So yeah. I don't know if she is a legally in the bar now, but like, yeah, she had to roll her fucking tongue, and we were just talking. Like she would drink, and then she would like on her phone. And this is, by the way, this was when touch, I'd say touch tone, when the screens that we have now, tap screens. This is when tap screens had just came out, so she loved it. So this is when tap screens just came out, because she said before then she always had to text everybody or show them her flip phone, and like it would be hard to read. So this was the first time that she actually could like really boost, like expand the actual font, and then she type something and she do this, and then she erase that, and then she do this, and then she do this, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, chick was bad, like chick beautiful, nice dimples when she smiled and everything, straight teeth, like everything was good on her. She couldn't speak. I didn't even have a problem. Listen. By the way, Resto, you know I had some dirty thoughts, my guy. She had a tongue like goddamn licky tongue. Like, you know, I had some dirty thoughts in my mind. I was young. I want to say I was 20, 26, maybe 25. You know, I had some nasty thoughts. But I'm not talking about like the chicks that like they got the split in the tongues and they could do it. I'm talking about her tongue is so far out there, she can't do a whole lot. Like, you know, like you see these chicks with like a whole big long tongue, they stick out and they like a wiggle it. Her tongue was so far out there. And then we was having a conversation at one point. She can't get nothing done with it. Like you can't surgically take off your tongue because of how sensitive your tongue is. You can't take it off, chop it into like bite sizes, and then reattach what's left of it into your mouth. You can't do it. I didn't know that, but like she said, like you can't do anything to change that because your tongue is just so sensitive in all the different spots that it's within it to be able to be sensitive to all the other different things that's going on in your mouth. I thought it was very, very interesting, to be honest with you. Very interesting. But yeah, just keeping it a buck. So sorry when you say cat and when you say he lying. I'm not lying. I couldn't be with her because it sounded like a lot of work. First of all, in my 20s, I wasn't the best reader. Smartphones was just now really just getting into play, and I was not the best reader in the world. I could read, but I wasn't a speed reader or anything like that. And then on top of that, I would never be able to hear her moan or anything. Like, that's crazy. And I dated her for about a week. No, we went on like the standard like 3 dates or whatever. She was nice, beautiful to look at, beautiful to look at. But I was just like, honestly, I can't. I can't. I remember. So we was in the dog park. It was at night. It was like close to nighttime, like late evening. We was in a dog park because she likes dogs, and I was holding her hands, and we were talking, and I was talking, and I was saying to her like, I really like her, but like, it's gonna be difficult because I don't know how we're gonna be able to make that work. And I think she understood. I think she's been through it enough. She's been through it enough times, so she understood. I felt like a piece of shit afterwards. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I felt really bad. Um, I don't really. This is gonna make me sound like an asshole. I typically don't feel bad about breaking up with chicks. Like, I really don't. I typically don't feel bad about breaking up with a woman. But like her, she's one of the few that I really did feel bad about breaking up with. Just, and then like, I was so young, like, well, yeah, I was so young. Like, breaking up with a chick that you really do like, it's like you really find like heavily attractive. It's like, oh my god. But like, yeah, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. Rest on the chat talking about being hard as fuck. Like, he being weird. He being weird with Ruck. I said what I said. And then that's what I say. Like, everybody's gonna have a problem, but everybody's gonna have a problem with your personality. End of the day. Oh my god. What did you send me now, Cam? You said sound bite? I don't even know. I don't even know what you're talking about. Do I even want to know? Hold up. Let me see if I can find. I need to find out what Cam got a sound bite of me on. Hold up. Ah, okay. Okay. I may have to work on that if that's what it is. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see. Oh, by the way, I didn't even bother to check this out. Do me a favor, folks. If you're one of my members, right? Let me know if you guys see something I put in there earlier today. Let me know if you see something I put in there earlier today, if you remember. You guys might have might get access to some special emojis that are sitting in the chat. Let me know if you actually got access to them. You're behind again. I mean, stop talking about your behind. But yeah, keep up. All right, keep up. Damn, this nigga put out all of them. He put out all of them in the chat. God damn, nigga, that's crazy. Y'all all did. God damn. I also learned something else. So apparently my program cannot see it, and StreamYard can't see it either. So I learned that. StreamYard can't see it, and my program can't see it, but I can see it on YouTube. That's wild. That's wild. So I just learned something new. Me, I learned something new. Yeah, I'm gonna start working. Listen, when I get an ideal, I'm gonna work on some badges and everything. I'm gonna do that. I just, after me and Cam was having a conversation, this is the emojis I put in, and I'm gonna work on some badges and stuff like that for you guys as well as members only content for the future. So just so you guys know. But yeah, that's what I dropped that in today. So that's wild. I'm surprised I didn't see that yet. Why are you feeling away? Are you feeling away? Why you what you thinking about? Hmm? What you thinking about? Huh? That's weird. What you thinking about? What you thinking about? That's weird. And I'm not gripping the mic. I'm gripping the mic arm. What are you thinking about? That's weird. What you doing right now? I don't know what you're thinking about, but that's just weird. All right, you better stop that. Get it together. The fuck? The fuck? Oh yeah, you know that had to go in there. But like, I'm also thinking about like the context of people at like the middle of is disappearing for a lot of people, and I think it's really, really, really weird. You know, people can be confident. People can be confident. They can be humble. They can be successful, and not for nothing, people can be imperfect. People can be strong. People can be uncertain. People can disagree with someone that they dislike. I don't think that should be a problem with it. But for some reason, the nuance in between keeps disappearing. And why is it that the idea of nuance is disappearing? Because to be nuanced means that you're to be nuanced means that you're giving context. Why is it that we're erasing the idea of having context? Why is it the actually, here's the funny part about it. Let me ask you guys, when you're typically, and I'm a two-part question, so I want you guys, because you're in the chat, I want you to ask this question first. How often in the chat, don't think about the one time you were asked, how often, as in on an average, would you say that when you're in the chat and you read something that sounds off to you, be it you or someone else in the chat ask the question, what do you mean? Like, I don't understand. What do you mean? I don't see that very much, me personally. But on average, how often would you say that you actually see that? That's weird. See, I got my program, StreamYard, but for some reason, Ruck's last Ruck's last comment in the chat didn't pop up. Why? Why did Ruck's last comment did not pop up in the chat? I can see it on StreamYard, I can see it on my program, but I'm not seeing it on YouTube. Very interesting. Little weird anomalies like that. You said, damn, Wrestler had that kung fu grip on that junk. Okay, you say so. You know, I never owned a toy that had the kung fu grip. I didn't have GI Joes growing up. I didn't have GI Joes. So the kung fu grip, not something I would know about. Yeah, but I noticed a lot of people never really ask for clarification and ask for people for their point of view. Now, on a panel, if they're confused, there's been very rare, but I do hear people say, "Well, what do you mean by that? I don't really understand." And that's cool. That's cool. Kung Fu Grip was a GI Joe. That's why I said I remember in like the old commercials, the Kung Fu Grip. but I didn't grow up having GI Joes, so that's why I knew what it was. 'Cause I remember the commercial. I was like, can I get that? She was like, no, you can't get that. Now I think about it, my grandma was a blackity black. You know what I mean? So she's like, you ain't getting that white doll. Oh my gosh. My grandmother was a bit of a blackity black. She's like, you ain't getting that white out. She probably might have said even crazier in her mind. You ain't getting that white BB doll. You could squeeze that man's legs together for the kung fu grip. Like you ain't doing that. She might have been like that. She might have been saying that in her mind. Like, oh man, you ain't doing that. You gonna be squeezing these white man's legs together for the kung fu grip. I was like, whoa. And now that I think about it, I'm like, all right, grandma, you might know what you was doing. You might have known what you was doing. All right. Looking back in hindsight, connecting the dots, and like, you know what? Maybe, or maybe the homophobia was just that strong. Maybe the homophobia was just that strong. I don't know. I can't say. I can't ask her. So, can't really say. It is what it is. So we gotta just let it rock the way that it is. But like the fact that people don't want to live within nuance, people don't really want to ask questions. But also to you guys, I've been asking you, how often would you say that you've actually seen people say that? Now, well, I can't ask you how many times, because here's my truth, man. You're not gonna remember how many times that a person within the chat asked somebody. Now I said ask, not ask. The K is just gone. How many times have you seen someone ask, "What do you mean?" Is not something that I particularly see often. But you guys are in more chats than I am. How often would you say that you see it? Not how many times somebody's asked you. How many times would you say that you've seen it within all these different areas that you go into? Yes, that is the question. That is the question right now. Because to me, on a panel, I see it and hear it way more personally than I do in a chat. The times is irrelevant. I don't see it much. Okay, when you say you don't see it much, I would agree in saying that I don't see it much. Now, the question is, why is it you don't see it much if we are claiming to be intellectual peoples that are striving or would like to have clarity as to what we are reading, because that's what you could do in a chat, or hearing when people are on panels? Unless you really don't care. Ooh. And if you really don't care, why are you in the chat talking? If no one else is paying attention to you, why are you in the chat talking? And I think this kind of goes in a very weird kind of wave. Because not all content creators pay attention to their chat. Can we just be honest with that? And that's not saying that it's just had too many people. Because I've seen people who have hundreds of thousands of people in the chat talking to them. And they can see all that weird flickering back and forth of the chat. And they still manage to try to engage with their chat. It's not to say they're perfect, not to say they can see everything, but they try to engage. And I've seen conversations between content creators who probably have like 30 people in their chat. And they pay them no attention. Insane. Said because people are lazy and they don't give a fuck about the conversation. So here's my thing about that, Cam. If people don't give a fuck about the conversation, then why do they spend a lot of their time talking in the chat? Like who do they believe that they're doing a favor? if you think that no one really gives a shit about what you're talking about, why would you continue to talk in the chat? Especially on a content creator that's not really watching you. Because I'm gonna just be honest with you. There are some content creators that will really only pay attention to you only when you drop a super chat. There are only, I'm gonna reiterate, there are only some creators that will only talk to their chat if they drop a super chat. You want me to talk to you? Drop some money, nigga. Like, and that's not my philosophy. Will I want to highlight and have a conversation with somebody who has yeah, and sometimes I'm so busy thinking about things or whatever that I don't even get down to everything. Here's my truth of the matter. Sometimes I think about you say, I didn't say that. I understand it. I mean, there are some times where I think about like if you guys drop a super chat to put on TTS, right? But I'm gonna be honest with you. There are creators who I watch who are super popular. And there's no way in hell I would drop a TTS. Because the moment that they realize that a TTS will just get my attention, other people's attention, you know what happened? They drop the most egregious shit. Egregious of shit. And so there's a content creator that I watch, right? And by the way, a lot of stuff that I've learned that you guys have seen a lot, and I don't go hard on some of the stuff that he makes, but there's a content creator that I watch whenever he is live, and I won't say not very often, but when he is live, it's hard to catch his lives because it's so impromptu. So when you do catch him, it's like, holy shit. And I learned so much in terms of new shit that happens, new shit that I see, things that I think that can be good for content. And let me see if I can find the most recent shit that I saw today. And by the way, I had to stop watching him because he had just got started an hour before I had to start my live. So I was like, fuck, I can't even watch his stream because he's so impromptu. Let me do this real quick. And I'll show you what I saw, which I was like, wait, what? What? And you guys tell me, oh, by the way, KM, hold up. Nope. 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 Hold up. Hold up. I need to do some things. Hold up. I just realized what I'm saying right now. I just realized what I'm saying right now. Hold up. I'm about to show you guys something. And when I show it to you, it's gonna be wild, all right? Just letting you know. It's gonna be wild to those who are gonna be like, wow, that shit happened. And this is the reason why you realize that I really don't give you guys a lot of grace when it comes to things in the chat, things like that. All right. What's good, No Chaser? All right. I'm gonna show you guys this. Don't worry, Cam. It's nothing clippable, all right? Nothing clippable enough. But I'm gonna show you this. So I'm gonna go here ahead of time. All right. You don't need to hear anything. You just need to see it. All right. And tell me how you feel about something like this happening. So for those who knows, this is Nutty GG, great content creator, in my opinion. You don't need to hear anything. But look what happens even on his stream. Look at this comment that comes by. Look at the comment that comes by. And they purchased something from his actual website just to be able to type that. They spent 10 $10 or more. $10 or more. They spend $10 or more of their own dollars. We're gonna assume hardworking dollars, just to be able to put that on his screen. Now, I could tell you, he's not a controversial content creator. His whole content is about showing all the stuff that he builds or works on for streamers, for content creators, and this is how he was treated. I mean, think about that. He doesn't do race baiting. He doesn't do panels. He doesn't do interviews. He doesn't do none of that shit. He's a regular content creator who loves to promote to his communities, who loves to do all the other stuff, blah, 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 so forth, so forth. And this is what was thrown. Somebody had to go to his website in order to get that thing that they ordered, and paid at least at the minimum $10, I believe his threshold was, just to put that on his stream. And because they purchased it, it wasn't behind him. It had to go in front of him. And did you read you read what it said? I'm not even going to repeat it. You read what it said. Now, how many, I'm going to just be honest with you. How many, I'm not going to ask you if you're a person, but how many people do you believe are so desperate to hate and so desperate to just say the N-word that badly that they're willing to spend that much money, probably even more money, just so they can get their message out? Just gotta keep it a buck. Is it really that important? Is it, by the way, is it that important to show your hatred? Is it that important? Cause I mean, you gave up, by the way, you gave up your money to a guy who looks Indian, Hawaiian, and then you even put children into it. Children. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna just keep it a buck. The person who most likely did it is probably someone who's sitting in the community that has the most. You said what? What do you say? It is free to call you my friend. Oh no, it's free. Well, here's my thing. It's free to call someone a friend. Uh, Foreigners have been doing it a long time as a disabling tactic. It's free to call somebody your friend. It's not free for people to believe that that person is your friend. It's not free. But that person who did what they did it on a guy who, not black, by the way, but was willing to buy a product from him just to spew out racist antics. Now, keep in mind, what does that say about how people review? Because we've been talking about this for a while. How people review content creators. If you think about it, we've been talking about personalities, and if you ever got to see what his content's like, he's kind of corny, to be honest with you, but he talks about a whole bunch of stuff. He doesn't get into any of the political stuff, none of that. All his stuff is mainly about how he's trying to build something online for streamers, or how he worked on this project or worked on that project. Or, I mean, he has a very big supportive community. None of it has to do with current events or anything. It's always about streamer stuff. It's never about people, other content creators, none of that shit. And think about it. He's being authentic. He can be corny. He can be funny. He has a very big supportive community. Everybody has a personality. Every single person. Everybody can get critiques. There are people who critique him because he's already put out way too much content that's been free. And what his best stuff, he puts behind a paywall. He's been given a lot of people that come to him that are brands and everything, just so he can be able to make money. And yet, and still, this is the type of shit that will show up in the class. And by the way, I've been watching him for years. First time I ever really saw that. Miss Raven, you said worse. It was not necessarily about hate, but something just being an ass solely because they can. Well, here's my thing. If they want to be an ass just because they could have said a whole lot of different shit just to be an ass. We see trolls every day. Why was it specifically the N-word about rape and about children? That's highly specific, and they repeated it over and over and over and over. And by the way, they didn't do that from the chat. They did that from his website. That message came from his website, not from the chat. That was highly intentional. He was in his stream saying, I'm trying to take care of it, but he couldn't because it was already live. And I'm sitting here prepping to get ready for this stream, thinking about what I'm going to talk about with you guys from this stream. And I thought I just went, whoa. And I just, and what I said earlier, Cam, I finger fucked my way back to where it happened. And I recorded it because I said that was crazy. That was crazy. That was absolutely fucking insane. That did not need to be there whatsoever. And that didn't need to be on his platform. He's done nothing to put him to do that to people or to say shit like that with people, whatever. And yet, and still, that was shit that kid. It said, are all N children, are all N children. And even the name of the user was called Kill Are All R's. This is not strictly about being an asshole. And let's just say that they ordered that thing, they ordered that multi, what was it called? It was called a multi-chat overlay. I could tell you the multi-chat overlay probably cost $10. Like, they were willing to go spend $10 just to be able to showcase that. What does that say? Now, you guys know me. I'm not one to really get crazy or emotional over things that people say online, because people do these things in order to be able to trigger you so that they believe that they have power over you. This is why I think a lot of people, especially Black people, should really stop falling short or falling on the sword of racism when it comes to hearing the R word. Because you're giving people the ammunition. This is why I don't really feel any particular way about it. I'm not saying it's cool to say that around me, but there's so many people that lose their shit. And it's like, I'm gonna just be honest with you, you don't come off as looking intelligent when you crash out over a word. I'm just gonna be honest with you. And because people know this is like Harry Potter, by the way. If they know they have the magic spell, if they know they have the spell to trigger you, why would they not use it? And you keep showing that it matters, that it works. To the point where they even go to other people's streams who have nothing to do with anything, who never showcase their racism, as far as I've been watching, long as I've been watching this guy and everything, and willing to spend cold hard cash. And I've seen it on other streams too, where they'll do TTS just to be able to say some fuck shit because they got the cash to blow. And because they want to insult people or they want to trigger people. No one said that. That's just you. I don't know people who think that much about guns except you. So that's you, sir. So you think that I dress like a gun range safety. No one else said that. Only former military niggas think that. That's you, sir. Don't put it on anybody else. Just say it with your chest. Just say it with your chest, nigga. It's only you. Don't put that on anybody else. That was only him. Don't lie on other people's names. Even if they're imaginary. It was just all him. Just call him out, Ruck. That was only him. No one else said that. That shit was way too corny to say. That was only this nigga. And this is what I'm saying. Everybody has a personality, but everybody will choose a reason to dislike you, even if the reason doesn't make sense at all. At all. When it comes to a lot of people, especially creators, especially those who keep their platform open to a lot of people, everything gets reduced to categories. I mean, think about it. Either you're rich or you're cheap. You're strong or you're weak. You are successful or you're unsuccessful. You're confident or you're insecure. You're either a fit person or you're unfit. Who the fuck ever talks about air marshals? Except the nigga that just mostly rent on a fucking plane. Nigga, you put yourself out there. Stop talking. You're embarrassing yourself. All right? You're embarrassing yourself. Ain't nobody here. The average person is not out there on flights all the time, nigga. Like, you're calling yourself out. Just say you, nigga. Just put yourself out there. Stop lying. You make your own jokes sound cheap. Just say you. Just say, I think you look like an undercover air marshal. Stop saying they. Nigga, that's just you. Sure. Sure, it wasn't. Every nigga think they can do stand-up. Anyway. And this is why I think the whole nuance thing is disappearing. So you got Resto, if you're going to troll, you're going to have to do better, man. Elevate. Make it real funny. Elevate. Gotta pick it up, man. You're trying. You're almost there. Gotta pick it up. Sit back, huddle with a whole bunch of niggas, get it together. Gotta pitch in. Gotta really. It's too dry right now. It's too dry. It's Canada dry. Like, it's really Canada dry. It's not doing it. Get together, come up with a good punchline. All right. But like I said, like the middle is disappearing. Everybody's out there just basically running with the if ors. You got to be on one side or the other. So why is it that we are only looking at content and all kind of content as just being one thing or that? It's just black or white, left or right, all that stuff. What are we doing to actually make things better? Why is it that we're losing nuance? Why is it that we don't care about context anymore? People seem increasingly certain about everything, even when they know nothing. You ask them, well, this is what I see. I'm like, oh, so you actually don't know anything. This is what you see. So your eyeballs determines your research now. Like, I thought we were behind. I thought we were behind now when we had printing presses, when we had journalists, when we had fucking the internet, when we had encyclopedias, when we had dictionaries. Like, I thought we had libraries. I thought we were past that. I thought we were all past that as human beings. And yet, and still, we can see on a regular basis that opinions are becoming loyalty tests. Let me say it again. Opinions are becoming loyalty tests. A lot of discussions are now based on or you feel like you better either be with me or against me. Rather than two people having their own perspectives, it's either you're on my side or you're not. Disagreements become personal. Like I said, something I didn't agree. I'm thinking about right now. I didn't agree with a hussy over pineapple on pizza. And this chick has hated me for over 2 years. Over 2 years. This chick has hated me over 2 years because I said I don't like pineapple on pizza. Think about it. I've been on this bitch's mind for 2 years because I don't like what she likes. Instead of challenging an ideal, people decide what disagreement supposedly says about the other person's intelligence or their character or their morality. Talking shit online has become the most hypest shit. Boasting about who you are or what you contribute to me is the thing that's becoming the problem because most of the people don't even fucking prove it. They just talk shit. They don't actually fucking prove a goddamn thing. People are they're increasingly presenting themselves as having everything figured the fuck out, which not for nothing makes ordinary people feel uncertainty or humility or changing their minds about how they appear. And most of all, people, and I would just say it's my people as well, like making themselves appear like they're not weak. The deeper corner of people's minds that I'm seeing a lot online isn't really even about disagreement. Because to me, it's about different perspectives. And different perspectives are useful. They're useful. There's not a problem. To me, the problem is losing the ability to hear another person's perspective without immediately needing to defeat it, immediately needing to categorize it, immediately needing to dismiss it. But that's not what we see nowadays. Anything that they hear that's absolutely outside of what they think is immediately dismissed these days. And I think that's really a shame. It's a shame. I think a lot of people have become very concerned with judging everybody else and choosing one side versus the other. And I think that we've forgotten how simple it is to understand another person because we are too busy wanting to be right rather than be effective. Yes, Joe. People have forgotten the idea and the degrees of being nuanced and forgot the idea of context because they want you to only pick a side. That's it. That's my personal opinion on it. And we take that mindset into many different avenues of conversations, of categories, of topics, all that shit. So here's my thing. Their identity is actually not tied to a fucking thing. Because so quickly, we have been able, and I've seen many other content creators have been able to quickly make a huge distinction between people's identities and their beliefs. Because especially when the motherfuckers start talking about that they Christians, like, oh, how far they fall from their identity versus them being a Christian. How fucking far they fall. They will say that they're Christians, and what their identity is totally fucking falls in comparison to them being a Christian. Joe, I know you've seen it. I know you've seen it. I see it every day online. A lot of people will disagree with anybody that they feel like they don't like. And when you ask them why they don't like them, they don't have strong reasons. And I said this earlier, they sound like goddamn teenagers. They're supposed to be people in their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and they sound like people they sound like people in arrested development. They sound like people who don't have their full fucking frontal lobe fucking developed, arguing the way that they do. And then they think they can hide behind the shield of saying, I'm a Christian. And then, okay, cool, let's talk about your Christianity when it comes to this. And they're like, oh, in fact, you know what? You're such a Joe. Do this. Next time you find a person that want to argue so hardly about Christianity, because I know you're more on those panels than I am. Next time you go on a panel and you have somebody that's arguing very hard for Christianity, I want you to. I hope I'm there, but if not, I don't get somebody to clip it or something. I don't know, but I want you to ask them this, Joe. You know, you talking a whole lot of shit about Christianity, right? Could you show me your Bible? I would love for you to ask one of these people who are Bible thumpers to show their Bible on screen. I would just like to see it. Most of these motherfuckers can tell you about scriptures all over the goddamn place, and they don't have a Bible in their house at all. I believe that. In my opinion, I personally believe that. If anything, these motherfuckers are pseudo televangelists. Like, they watch shit all the time. They could probably point you to something that some motherfucking pastor said on goddamn YouTube, but they don't have no goddamn Bible in their house. I said what I said. I said what I said. When you get into a huge Bible thumping conversation with some of these motherfuckers, Joe, I would love for you to just say, you talking all that shit, go look in your Bible right now. In fact, show me your Bible. Put that shit on screen. Don't type no shit. Show me your Bible. I need to see crinkles, creases, dog ears, highlights, fucking bookmarks. I need to see that. Show me that you are consistently in your Bible. Joe, I got a feeling, Joe, you're not gonna see it. I got a feeling you're about to get a rebuttal.
Wait, what?
Well, Joe, where's your Bible? I'll show my Bible if you'll show me yours. So, Joe, I'm telling you ahead of time right now. Go to the library, go to your favorite bookstore. In fact, go sleep at your favorite motel. If you got a favorite motel. I don't know if you be out there tagging these hoes like.
Wait, what?
I don't know if you're out there tagging these hoes like that. But go steal the Bible in the motels, and then have these arguments with these motherfuckers and these goddamn. And I'm telling you, if you say I got mine, I got my Bible. Show me yours now. You sitting here spitting all you got that. Show me it. I'm telling you, like, Joe, you might shut down panels. I'm not gonna lie. You might shut down some panels. You may shut down some fucking panels because they're not gonna be able to prove that they got a Bible in their house. Like, because most of these motherfuckers let's be honest, Joe. Most of these motherfuckers out there arguing back and forth in these goddamn panels is single. So they're not gonna say, honey. Oh, sorry, Joe. My woman, she's on her knees right now praying to God with the Bible in front of her. Honey, can you just get up for a moment for the Lord and just give me the Bible so I can show it to Joe Cool? Like, that's not happening. That's not happening. Most of these motherfuckers talk about they being single. So go get your Bible. What are you gonna say? It's in a special place? Like it's on a goddamn altar? Like, Joe, I'm telling you, if you get into these Bible thumping motherfuckers that you keep going up against, and you tell them to show them the Bible, show them their Bible, I'm telling you, if they don't sit there and try to turn it back on you, no, I'm not gonna get up and go get my Bible. For what? I'm not gonna get my Bible for you. The Bible's between me and my Lord. Like I'm telling you, Joe, if you make that a normal point of a contention, I'm showing a lot of people are not gonna give their Bibles. I said what I said. I'm calling it out now. If I'm wrong, Joe, just tell me the channel, tell me the panel, tell me the timestamp. I'll check it out myself. If I'm consistently wrong, let me know, Joe. But I got a good feeling. I got a feeling it's not gonna happen. I got a feeling that it's gonna be just the other way around. They're gonna be very contentious. They're gonna show you everything. They're gonna tell you. They're gonna mock. They're gonna flip it on you. They're gonna do everything, but they will not show you their Bible. They will say, well, if you go online, no, show me your Bible. I'm telling you, it's not gonna happen. Because people can say, well, wrestler, what about you and your Bible? I'm gonna say, I don't have a Bible in my house. My girl, Mike, she's a God-fearing woman, but I don't have a Bible, and I don't ask her where hers is if she's got one. I don't even know. I mean, I'm a heathen. Like, I ain't got one. Memory is kind of solid, but I don't have one. But you're the one saying you're godly and goodness and everything. I was like, so show me it. But have no problem being up here on the internet saying the most egregious shit, being very far from anything that would be considered to be a Christian, saying the most nastiest shit about families and everything else like that, having all kind of immoral questions and all kind of shit going on there, having no nuance as to how people got there. By the way, the Bible has a lot of nuance in it. Showing no humility, showing no humanity, showing no care for your brothers, criticism out the fucking ass, critiquing anyone's personality that is not like yours, and showing no fucking hint of being authentic. I said what I said. I scrolled back up the list for you guys. Now show me otherwise. Joe, you like to have conversations with people. I'm telling you, it wouldn't be hard. It would not be difficult. Because they're gonna tell you all the scriptures that they got it all memorized. But if you tell them to bring out your Bible, we'll go page for page. Oh well. My Bible in the laundromat. Did you say your Bible's in the laundromat, sir? They're like,
Wait, what?
I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I said my Bible. I left it at my sister's house. So your Bible that should be in your home. You travel with your Bible in your car. It's like, yeah, I do. So you don't have a Bible for home, Bible in your car, Bible at your sister's house. Is your sister a godly woman? Yeah, she's a godly woman. So she don't have her own Bible.
Wait, what?
I just felt like the scriptures I already had highlighted in my Bible. I didn't want her going flipping over all the pages. So I already had it highlighted in my Bible. So I took my Bible from my bedroom into the car and then drove to her house. So she knew you was coming though, right? Like, yeah, she knew I was coming. Like, so you couldn't just say to look up this passage in this area of the Bible and then to meet you ready for it when you showed up to the house. It's like, what about your Bible though, huh? What about you? You asked me a lot of questions about the Bible. What about your Bible, huh? See, this is what's gonna happen. That's what's gonna happen. I'm telling you, the idea of people picking sides, right? Knowing, having nuances, understanding that the truth is in the middle. This is why they say, and it's a lie, by the way, a coin only has two sides. When the truth of the matter is that people keep letting go, people keep obfuscating, people keep ignoring the ridge. If I say there are two sides to a coin, I want you to show this. What is this? Is that two sides? Or is there three sides to a coin? There's a ridge in the middle. And that's typically where all your truth is. And not all ridges are smooth. There are three sides to a coin, not two. And the sooner that you want to come to recognize that, the sooner off you'll realize just how important the middle is. Because even when you flip a coin, you have to look at it bouncing off of where. When you want to roll a coin, does the coin roll on its side or does it roll on the ridge? So there are three sides to a coin. But conventional speak will have you all effed up in believing that there's only two. I think a lot of people need to really investigate how they're reviewing the things that are people saying that people are saying on a regular basis. So that's my thoughts on the matter. But then again, I am just a normal guy. A lot of y'all believe that y'all know better than anybody else. And it is what it is. I'm not one to say anything otherwise. With that being said, that's all I got for you guys today. I'm not going to long drag it. I'm not going to make the stream any longer than it needs to be. I'm not here to fill in any extra particular time or whatever. So you guys, it is a Tuesday night. And I got some stuff to work on. So I got to make sure that you guys get some content later this week as well. Most likely we will be live again when probably Thursday, because I got some stuff I got to work on tonight as well as tomorrow. And I'm busy like anyone else. So I guess I'll see you guys on the next one. Later, y'all.
Truth is what survives when the language gets stripped away. And most people ain't lost, they just been avoiding what they know to face. Resla is like that quiet thought that don't leave when the room get loud. Resla is like that feeling when the truth land and your pride sit down. Resla is like a mirror with pressure, no filter, no soft disguise. What people avoid when they swear they self-aware.